Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? I got a crazy show for you guys here. I got my tinfoil hat on. Listen, I'm not playing, guys. Listen. I don't usually talk about these topics. This is a true crime channel. But I'm very disturbed with the things that have been happening out here. These unexplained phenomenon that we can't seem to get any answers from our government with. Well, we're going to talk about this today, guys, because listen, if I didn't feel passionately about this, I would not be taking the time out of my life and your life to talk about it. The government is not being honest with us. And I've got some theories on this, guys. And you guys see me in my tinfoil hat. You guys think this is a joke? This is not a joke. This is not a joke. We have unidentified flying objects around being reported from around the world, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what's so funny, guys? I'm going to tell you what's funny about this. I'm going to tell you what's funny. We had a whistleblower come before our Congress, come before the nation, come before the world, a person who worked in the government agency that was specifically tasked with investigating allegations and sightings of extraterrestrials, unidentified flying objects, whatever they want to call them now. They call them UAPs, etc. This person came forward. This person was a highly respected, decorated individual, and he told us that UFOs, extraterrestrials, are real. The whole world shook for 2 weeks, and then nobody cared about it anymore. And now we have thousands of people, tens of thousands of people across the Northeast saying that they're observing these things flying in their backyards. And now we'll even add to that there are sightings across the country and across the world of unidentified flying objects hovering around the world. Now, I'm going to tell you what my theory is, guys. I'm going to tell you what I think about this, guys. But before we do that, I want to bring you up to speed. I want to bring you up to speed on the discussion that we've had in this country about UAPs. And then we're going to go into what my theory is, and we're going to see some of this footage that's literally blowing my mind out there. And I don't understand why this is not national news, why we're not talking about this more than we're talking about the health insurance assassin, Trump taking office in 2025. We should be talking about this more than any other topic in the United States of America, because I think they might be here, ladies and gentlemen. I honestly believe they might be here. And I think I've got an explanation as to what are those things flying out there every night in New Jersey and now New York and also around the world. But first, let me bring you up to speed.
NASA has whole archives of data, much of which I believe will likely have information that will help inform UAP. We need only look. And again, in an era with AI and ML, we can relatively quickly and easily go through it. So I think it's something that we should encourage NASA to do.
This is a presentation from the UATP task force. This is completely absurd. It's nuts, this level of censorship.
See how much they redacted that? They didn't even share with us, the American people, how many reports were made. That's how much they redacted that. Now, some people are asking, this is a tin-foil hat. This is a foil hat. It's more effective than the tin-foil hat. Let's keep going.
Of redaction on a document. It shows the redaction of how many reports they've collected, for how many years. 2 of the 3 potential explanations are blacked out. The Pentagon, the intelligence community is treating us like children. It's time for us to know the truth about this. I think that we can handle it.
Has the government conducted secret UAP crash retrieval programs, yes or no?
This guy's a Pentagon insider. I watched these hearings. These were legitimate professional people. These weren't mentally ill people. These weren't conspiracy theory people. These were Pentagon insiders. These were high-level officials with security clearances, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to what this man is going to say as a result of a question. I'm going to bring it back so you can hear her question again. And I want you to listen to what he says in response to her question.
Secret UAP crash retrieval programs.
Hold on.
We can handle it.
Has the government conducted secret UAP crash retrieval programs? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Were they designed to identify and reverse engineer?
Secret UAP crash retrieval programs. Has the government engaged in secret UAP crash retrieval programs? This Pentagon insider says yes. Now, her second question is,
Identify and reverse engineer alien craft? Yes or no? Identify and reverse engineer crash retrieval programs? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Were they designed to identify and reverse engineer alien craft? Yes or no?
Yes.
were they designed to identify and reverse engineer alien crafts? Yes. That means that we have technology that is light years ahead of the technology that we see in our everyday life right now. Our government has access to technology that we don't know about. Our government is much more technologically advanced than we're aware of, ladies and gentlemen. Keep that in mind because it's going to fit in with my theory when we talk about this more a little bit later. Let's keep going.
In your book, you mentioned government employees who've been injured by UAPs placed on leave and receiving government compensation for their injuries. Is that correct?
That is correct.
How can the government deny we have recovered craft if they're paying people because they've been injured by recovered craft?
Ma'am, that's a great question. That's why I think we're here again.
I really believe that we should use this hearing as a catalyst to improve and bolster our air defense capabilities and our maritime domain awareness capabilities, because obviously there are holes in it, whether it be UAP of non-HI direction or NHI direction, or like as you say, sir, China or any other adversary.
All right, so somebody in the chat says something interesting. It's going to tie in with my theory. They says, Jen Mario says, someone posted on X that they are military drones capable of seeking radiation in dirty bombs. They said these drones were used. She said drains, but she meant to say drones. These drones were used in Ukraine. Who knows if this is true? Part of that is my theory, because people are saying that those drones are moving unlike any drones that we have out there now, with basically in a way that we don't have the technology for drones to move right now. But when they zoom in on these drones, they look terrestrial. Like when I think about what an alien vessel would look like, it should not look human, because these folks who are coming from wherever are light years ahead of us in technological advancement. These drones, when they're zoomed in on, many of them, not all of them, many of them look like they were engineered by humans, yet they move unlike human technology that we're aware of right now. They're also said to be coming from the ocean. They're also said to be up there longer than any other drones that we have on the market for hours at a time. Keep that in mind, because now I want to bring it back to me. I want to show you guys something. Let's play a little bit of these New Jersey officials who's going to talk about what's going on.
And welcome back here on Live Now from Fox. We are taking a live look over in New Jersey as we have this news conference getting underway on those drones. Let's pop up the audio and listen in.
Mayorkas shockingly said this week, "We haven't seen anything unusual. We know of no threat," close quote. What the massive invasion of drones observed and recorded by so many of our citizens, including and especially law enforcement and military personnel, many who are here, is it unusual? Is he kidding? How does Secretary Mayorkas, who infamously told us for years that our southern border was secure and closed?
All right, so he's talking politics and all that stuff. The point I wanted you guys to watch is not for politics. It's the fact that the government is not telling us about those drones. And I believe that most of those drones are our drones, but they're top secret, and that's why they will not acknowledge that they are our drones. But I said the key word, most of those drones are our drones. Let's keep going.
Weapons Station Earl, and I did talk to the commander there. His men are seeing it right there at the base. Are you kidding me? A munitions depot of that caliber, and these drones are hovering in close proximity to it. The Coast Guard told me the other day, and Sheriff Mastronardi, that one of its 47-foot rescue boats was followed in very close proximity off its stern by numerous drones. Why can't we bag at least one of these drones and get to the bottom of it?
The government refuses to shoot down these drones because most of them are their drones. They're not going to shoot down their own drones. The question is, if it was a test, why test it in an urban environment when you have large swaths of land in the Midwest and in the middle of America that are designated test areas for top secret stuff like Area 51, where you could fly these things at your heart content, and you won't have other drones out there, you won't have sightseers, you won't have satellite footage, you won't have none of that. So that means it's not a test. That means that something's happening that's going to make you decide to deploy your top secret countermeasures. The question is, what's happening? Let's keep going.
Why can't we even track them? I asked Secretary Mayorkas at a briefing, a Zoom briefing, why we can't follow them, find out where they're going. They're coming from somewhere. Okay, you can't seem to do that. Why can't we follow them and find what their origin is? Many of them seem to be coming from the ocean.
Many of them seem to be coming from the ocean, but not all of them. Now, we heard from if you guys were following along and you were thinking outside of the box, when that whistleblower came forward who worked for the Pentagon office that was designated to investigate UAPs, when that whistleblower came forward and said, aliens are real, they are here, they have been interacting with us, their ships crash, we retrieve the ships, we retrieve the aliens, we do experiments, they do experiments on us, we do experiments on them, we reverse engineer their technology. Some of the aliens are cool, some of them are not. He told us that. We listened for 2 weeks and then we didn't care anymore. But one thing that came out of that is all of the military pilots who testified and whose reports his office investigated, who said that they observed the alien crafts coming out of the ocean. Coming out of the ocean. I was paying attention. Maybe some of you thought it was a game, so you wasn't paying attention. I was paying attention. Navy pilots constantly complained about aliens coming out of, let me stop saying aliens, because then you're not going to take me seriously. UAPs, unidentified flying whatever, UFOs, UAPs, whatever, coming out of the ocean. Here's this guy saying they're coming out of the ocean, but not all of them are coming out of the ocean. So what do we have here, ladies and gentlemen? Because we're going to put this together. We're going to use our sex crimes investigative brains to figure out if we're alone out here, okay? Because once you can utilize discernment, and you can be analytical, and you can put puzzles together, you can use those skills in anything in life. So we have drones that are flying around the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. Some of these drones look like cars. They look like human-engineered drones, but they're moving around in ways sometimes that are beyond our technology, at least the technology we know. And they're staying up in the air longer than drones are supposed to stay up, which means they have some type of propulsion or energy source that's beyond what we know of. But they look terrestrial. And then, which is weird, we have other drones that are flying around that look like this, that ABC News captured with their own cameras, not some coupe with a tinfoil hat on. We're talking about ABC News with their camera captured this.
Bill and Sandra, when things like this are happening, it seems everyone starts to look up, like my crew and I have been here in Mendham recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might.
What is this? What is this? Does that look like anything you've ever seen before in your life?
Might be able to sort out what they're seeing in the skies, but I guarantee there are so many people looking up and making those recordings because this mystery is one that needs to be solved.
That's in Jersey. That's the local news capturing that. What is it?
For now, we're live here in Mendham Borough.
This beautiful woman is introducing us to the other kind. Let's go back one more time. What is this?
Sandra, when things like this are happening, it seems everyone starts to look up, like my crew and I have been here in Mendham.
Let me tell you guys what I think is going on. I believe, first of all, I don't think these aliens give a damn how we feel if we see them doing what they do. If you have the technological advancement to travel thousands, millions of light years to get to our corner of the universe, you will look at us like we look at ants. When we want to examine an anthill and we're looking down into that anthill, we don't care how the ants feel that this big giant is looking down into their home. When those ants are scurrying, our scientists don't say, oh my gosh, we're troubling these ants. We're making them feel uncomfortable. Look at them all scurry around. Oh my gosh, we should stop examining them. Nope, that's not what we do. We keep examining. We keep looking around. We keep just prodding. We keep, oh, this is interesting. Look at the different ants. Look at the burrows that the ants have made. Oh my gosh, it's very interesting. How scientific. If you could travel millions of light years, you have advanced to a point where you have harnessed probably an infinite amount of energy. You probably, and between our planet, our corner of the universe, and wherever these folks are coming from, there's tons of dead worlds, inhabited worlds, asteroids, where you could easily get raw materials. You don't need to come and conquer Earth to get raw materials. You could get that on any asteroid that you find along the way. I think these things are scientists. I think these things are explorers. I think these things are curious. I also think these things look at us like ants. For real. What I also believe is something is happening in these night skies. They're out there. They're flying around. They're looking around. They seem to like our military installations. Maybe they're gauging our preparedness, whether we are a threat to them. But I also think because they're out there in crafts that look like this,
Recording this video that you.
I think we're now deploying our countermeasures to follow them, to observe them, to see what they're doing. And I think the countermeasures that we have is technology that we've been developing for a very long time, oftentimes reverse engineering their technology to the best of our abilities. Because remember, there's some things we won't be able to reverse engineer right now because the technology is so far beyond our comprehension. But there are going to be things that we'll be able to glean from and to incorporate into our technology of today. We see that right now hovering above these skies. Because of that, this highly sensitive, light years ahead technology that we've been able to develop, they're doing plausible deniability, ladies and gentlemen. The government is saying, we don't know what it is. We can't tell you what it is. We refuse to shoot them down. We refuse to send things up there to look at it. But we can tell you they're not a threat. We can tell you that they're not a threat. How can you tell us they're not a threat if you don't know who and what they are? You know who they and what they are because the majority of those drones up there are our drones. Highly technologically advanced drones, probably that are made with alien technology. But you're not going to tell us about it because it's classified. But why are they up there? They're up there because they are watching this. They're watching that. They're watching that UAP that ABC News was able to catch with their own cameras.
You know, when things like this are happening, it seems everyone starts to look up, like my crew and I have been here in Mendham recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have
big shout out to Erica B, who's our moderator, one of our moderators. She says, well, if it's ours, I feel better. Don't feel better because some of them are ours. Some of them belong to them. Don't feel too good because ours are up there because they are up there. They decided to come to highly populated areas and show themselves, and that's why our top secret drones that move unlike any other drones in the market but still look like terrestrially designed drones, meaning drones designed by humans, those drones are up there because this is up there and this is not terrestrial.
no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might be able to sort out what they're seeing in the skies. But I guarantee there are so many people looking up and making those recordings because this mystery is one that needs to be solved. For now,
Listen,
we're live
man.
here in
Listen, this is ABC News that just showed you that thing up there. ABC News. I want to show you guys something else. This is interesting right here. So I said, Aki, I don't care what people think about me. Aki, I got to go and I got to do a video on these aliens. I got to do it. Aki laughed at me like, don't do it strategic. I said, I'm going to do it. So Aki sent me that. I say, Aki, if you can find some videos, I'm going to be looking too. I want you to find me some videos if you can, whatever. So Aki sends me this. This is EarthCam. So I'm like, okay, I hit EarthCam and I go live and I don't see anything. So let me go live. I don't see anything. I'm like, oh, first of all, they got some out there. Now, when I looked at EarthCam just a little while ago, there's nothing out there. And then I go back to 7 o'clock. You look right now at this one, it's 11:04. You can see these lights out here. These lights aren't always out there. So then I go to 7 o'clock. Where's 7 o'clock? At 6:30. Look at these stuff. They just hovering, dude. They hovering and then they move. They're not stars. They changing directions. Look at that. This guy was down here. Now he's up here. Changing directions. This is not stars. These aren't satellites. Satellites don't move like that. These guys are just hanging out. Now, some of these are going to be planes. That's a fact. But not all of them. And planes move in straight lines. Planes are traveling. They're literally traveling. They're going places. This is not my chat, by the way. This is EarthCam. Planes move. Planes are going towards a trajectory. These things are hovering. Look at this guy right here. They're hovering. Look at this dude. He's just hovering. He's not going nowhere. Then he's gone. Dude. Let's go to the live view of Earth Cam. Listen, man. They are here. They are here. This dude, do you think that let's get deeper into this. Let me look something up real quick. Because I want to get his name. Pentagon whistleblower. David Grush. David Grush was the name of the whistleblower from the what's the name of the office he worked for? Let's see here. 3 military veterans testified in Congress, highly anticipated hearing on UFOs Wednesday after, including former Air Force intelligence officer who claimed the U.S. government has operated a secret multi-decade reverse engineering program of recovered vessels. He also said the U.S. has recovered non-human biologics from alleged crash sites. I'm sure them dudes are not too happy that we took their brethren and you know, we poked and prodded them and did all kinds of experiments on their brethren. But anyway, let's keep going. I'm sure they've been doing the same thing to us for a long time. So this Air Force intelligence officer who worked for the office that was tasked with investigating UFOs came forward, David Grush. Now, let me tell you my theory on David Grush. Do you think that David Grush came forward to tell us about UFOs because he wanted to? Do you think that he was just a really nice, really good, solid American who wanted to let the American people know that we are not alone? Don't be naive, ladies and gentlemen. David Grush was instructed by his superiors to be a whistleblower. It's called a soft reveal. David Grush is a part of a larger campaign to soften the blow of the American people and the human race finding out that we are not alone. David Grush could not come forward with that level of classified information without getting killed first. Understand that. The fact that he's alive, hanging out, chilling on his porch, shows you he is a good American because he followed orders. There's no price on his head. He did exactly what he was told to do. He released just enough as they wanted him to release. I guarantee you, everything he said was handed to him in a script. They're like, David, you served for more than 20 years. You did a good job. You ready for your retirement? We got one more assignment for you. You're going to be the whistleblower. So notice David Grush, first off, we start getting all these Air Force pilots talking about these are United States military personnel. They can't speak on things without permission. First, we get these leaks and we get these former pilots coming forward saying, oh, when I was a pilot, I used to see these UFOs all the time in the Pacific. No problem. They come out from the ocean, fly around, spin around me a couple times and shoot off into space. No big deal. Do you think that they were allowed to come and speak on that stuff unless they had permission? I think they had permission. Then a couple years later, we get David Grush. David Grush gives this whole expose, 2-3 weeks out of our lives. All they're talking about on the news is the UFOs, the UFOs, the UFOs. They had a congressional hearing about it. Then, what are we talking about? Trump and Kamala. Nobody cares about aliens anymore. We somehow now care more about Trump and Kamala than the fact that they're freaking aliens out there. How convenient. Now, we've already talked about Trump and Kamala. Now we got aliens. We got UAPs flying over New Jersey. Make it make sense. Now, we got this. Trying to do a smooth transition, not moving that fast. We got this.
Recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to X.
We got this in the Northeast being recorded by ABC News. Ladies and gentlemen, I think they're ready to reveal to us that these extraterrestrials exist. I think this is the time, this is the generation when this stuff is going to be revealed to us. It's this moment, it's at this time we're going to learn that aliens exist.
With Sheriff Mastronardi the other day on the beach, and we saw a video, and we talked to heard one of his deputies talk about how she had seen 50 of them coming from the ocean to mainland. Is there something out there? We don't have the capability to do that. We don't have control over our airspace. And just remember, ladies and gentlemen, the feckless response to the Chinese Communist Party's spy balloon. When that thing traversed America, it went over one very sensitive base, including the B-2 bombers base, after another. We did nothing except say, oh, it's a spy balloon. Or is it? Or is it a weather balloon? I still can't get over that one.
All right. I got to go check something out. Keep listening to this. I'll be right back.
The elusive maneuvering of these drones, I would suggest a major military power sophistication that begs the question whether they have been deployed to test our defense capabilities, or worse, by violent dictatorships, perhaps maybe Russia or China or Iran or North Korea. I mean, they have the capability, and they certainly have the motive. The Pentagon has said the drones are not ours. I've written Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin asking the Pentagon to authorize the use of force to down one or more of these unmanned threats to uncover the mystery. Bring them down over the ocean, over an area where there's no population. Bring them down and find out who's doing it. Knowing that drone warfare has radically changed warfighting in Ukraine and Russia, the Middle East, and elsewhere, this is not the time to trivialize or dismiss the threat. I want to express the profound thanks that I and my colleagues have to both Ocean County Sheriff Mike Mastronardi and Monmouth County Sheriff Sean Golden for doing all within their power and authority to aggressively investigate and track drone appearances. They are doing an amazing job. As many of you know, state and local law enforcement is precluded by law from taking more decisive action, which is why DOD must. They are the ones who have the ability and the authority to act. Congress, yes, and the president, yes, need to move quickly to expand state and local authorities' powers. But DOD has it right now. Sheriff Golden wrote me a few days ago requesting legislation to empower the state police to seriously protect at-risk persons and infrastructure, and if necessary, bring down a dangerous drone or drones. I am now drafting that bill and will soon introduce it. I want to thank him for that idea. I'd like to now yield the floor to Sheriff Mastronardi and then to Sean Golden. Sheriff.
Thank you, Congressman. I just want to clarify a couple of things that have happened. We have a very robust drone program in Ocean County. We've had it for 8 years or more. We're very fortunate. It's headed by Sergeant Fennessy. When we started to get these reports at the 911 center from local PDs, we went out and we decided to do a drone patrol, more or less. And we took our tethered drone, which you see over here, that the officers are demonstrating, and we put it up in the air on Saturday night a week ago. At that time, Sergeant Fennessy, who's an experienced drone operator and pilot, and Officer D'Amico spotted one of the items that brought us concern. They videotaped it as far as they were. They got some tape on it. They described it as going around their drone and traveling off at a high rate of speed, and reported to us that it was, they felt it was 60 miles an hour or more. And it put it in perspective, our drones only go about 40 miles an hour. So that's number one. Sunday night, We were out again. This time was Sergeant Fennessy once again. And at that point, we got notified by our 911 center that there was concern of a sighting in Island Beach State Park. We responded. We met a officer, a certified New Jersey law officer, not from our department, from another agency. And that officer did an excellent job. She documented. That's where you're getting the reports of 50 drones coming off the ocean. That's what she reported seeing. She was on duty at the time, and she reports that she saw 50 drones coming from the ocean to the mainland, transversing the airways over Island Beach State Park, going down towards Barnegat.
Look at that drone. Why do they keep calling them drones? I wonder that. Like, why is it that's the official government term for it, drones? But look at it. Doesn't it look terrestrial? It looks like man built it. I'm telling you guys, these drones are ours, but they're not up there alone. They are responding to the unknown drones that are up there, the unknown UAPs that are up there, like the UAP I just showed you from ABC News. They are up there as a response. We all know that the era of man flying winged wars of machine is almost at an end. Our military is investing heavily in unmanned flying drones. They got bombers that are currently in production, that are in the design phase, that will now have no pilots in them. They got fighter planes. We've been flying Predators and Raptors in war zones for decades. We don't want to put people up there. Number one, if you don't have a person in a cockpit, you could fly the machine even faster. You don't got to worry about G-forces. You could do maneuvers that you can't do when you have a person inside of the plane. You also don't have to worry about losing a life. It's just a machine. Put it on a production plant, crank out a whole bunch of them, you're good to go. You could fly multiple with one person, really. AI could do most of the work, and a person could control whichever one that they want to control to do something special with that's beyond the AI. You could send them on missions, make them bomb targets, and bring them back home if they have sufficient stealth technology. We're moving towards drones, and it's not beyond the pale that we're implementing in some of these drones some of the reverse engineered technology that we have gotten from these alien crash sites that we've been exploring, confiscating, and experiments on for decades, and now we're seeing them in the field out there. Why? Why are they taking out these highly top secret drones that they can't even acknowledge to us, that they're telling our governors and our mayors, we don't know what they are, but they're not a threat? What does that sound like to you? Doesn't it sound like plausible deniability, ladies and gentlemen? They don't know what they are. They're not giving us any solutions as to what they are or why they're there, but they're assuring us that they're not a threat because they know that those are our drones. And the reason why those top secret drones were taken out of the closet, taken out of the hangar with the sheet on it, the reason why they put those top secret drones up in the air is because they're out there to track these unidentified UAPs that are not of this world. Let's keep going.
Light and come into the seaside area. As a result of that, we continue to operate. We obviously notified all of our partners, FBI, State Police, Coast Guard. Coast Guard cutter put out a boat at a Barnegat Light. They reported to us what the Congressman referred to the comments. I have not spoken to the people on that boat directly. So what are we doing? We're taking proactive, working with Sheriff Golden, our partner, also Sheriff Nolan, May County, and Sheriff Donahue from Atlantic County. We're taking some, trying to document what's happening, if there's anything happening off the coast of New Jersey. But, you know, obviously there's a lot of attention to this matter throughout. Social media is a little bit different than it used to be. When I first came on the job, so that's something you have to control too, because people are putting everything out there. We were looking at the time that the Sergeant Fennessy reported seeing the drone. We have flight radar mapping capability.
Somebody asked a good question. They said, what part of the military would this fall under? Isn't it funny that President Trump, President-elect Trump, former President Trump, started a new branch of the military, Space Force. The question was, why did he start the Space Force? And I don't know why. I'm not going to give you an answer. But all I know is that we kind of just said that the Air Force would deal with space too, right? But then he came in and decided, no, we need our own separate branch specifically for space. Why? Why do we need a military branch for the space? We have the Air Force, they deal with flying things, and we had NASA, which takes us to space. Why do we need a military branch for space? That's a question we should be asking. Now, I would naturally say, using my powers of discernment, that they would fall under the branch of the Space Force. Big shout out to A Obsidian with a $6.99 Canadian super chat. Says the tinfoil hat, laughing, laughing, laughing. These have been spotted in Edmonton, Alberta, too. See, international. They're being spotted everywhere. A Obsidian is in Canada. They've been spotted in Canada. They've been spotted all over the world, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Abilities. And we did not see anything on indicating it was a plane. We get numerous reports of planes. On the other side of the coin, we get people reporting drones when we look right at the radar and say, no, that's a plane going over your house. And then they want to argue with you and say, no, no, no. So just so you know, the flight path to JFK out here, what we see is that they're traveling about 18 to 20,000 feet in the air. And coming out of Newark, going south in the western part of the county, they're about the same, 18 to 20 going south. The ones coming from the islands that are going to land at Newark come over our county at about 6,000 feet. These drones are less than 1,000. So
these drones are flying lower than commercial flights. Well, I want you to think about this. We've heard on the news already, people are complaining. Now, I have not verified this myself, but I've heard on like 2 news channels, people have complained about this, but the news did not experience this. But people are complaining that when they send their own drones up there to try and see if they can get a look at these UAPs, that these UAPs have the capability of deactivating the drones. So we're hearing out here on the interwebs that these UAPs disable drones that come close to them. We're also hearing that they're disabling cameras that are also being used to follow them. We're also hearing that when people start tracking them, they turn off their lights and they almost disappear. What technology we have to disable people's individual cameras? We do have a technology that disables other drones, but this just not seem right. Something doesn't seem right with the type of things that are being reported about these specific UAPs that are being observed in these areas. Let's keep going.
obviously they want us to know they're there. They put on their lights. So who it is, I wish I could tell you.
Now, at this point, understand this, right? If you are flying a drone that could fly at the heights that these drones are flying, unless you custom build them yourself, they have to conform with FAA guidelines. They have to have special beacons in them. When I was looking at DJI drones and stuff like that, all that stuff is included, number one. Number two, these drones are flying over restricted areas, military bases, nuclear power plants, etc. They're flying over restricted areas. They're committing crimes. If there's regular people with remote controls in their backyard laughing and kikiing and ha-haing, they're committing crimes. Number two, we're unable to track these drones on radar. Why? That doesn't make sense because we should be able to. But they're trying to and they can't. That should be alarming for you folks. Number three, these drones are huge. They're huge. How many people have the resources to build 6, 7, 10-foot long drones, and not one, but multiples of them. So they're either commercially built and there's a company that's out there for whatever reason violating U.S. law, committing crimes for what? A publicity stunt that's going to end your CEO in jail, your company fined into the graveyard of bankruptcy? That doesn't make sense. That's not a sound business practice. A company would not do that. Or B, the government is doing it, and it's top secret and classified, so they're not willing to acknowledge what they're doing. And or C, they're UAPs and they're non-terrestrial. B and C might be working hand in hand. B and C might be both the answer to the question, that some of them are government and some of them are non-terrestrial. Let's keep going.
Don't know. We keep telling, everybody says, well, it's the government. I don't know, but I think the government has a responsibility, in my opinion, that if it is them, just tell us and we'll be happy about it. But if it isn't, we got to get some answers. So we continue. We see a lot of activity out here. We see other agencies now paying attention to Jersey, thanks to Congressman, his support. So hopefully we'll continue to get some answers in a short period of time. In the meantime, I can assure the resident of Ocean County, working with my partners in Monmouth, Ocean, and Atlantic County, that we'll do all we can to document and see what we have out there and address. We have teams that go out from our CSI unit when we get reports to try to document. We had an officer out. We have some special camera lenses that we're looking at, that they're up there and trying to convince the homeowners that, yeah, that's a planet, you're okay. So some of it's difficult on the other side. So we want to make sure we're just fair, reasonable, and let's deal with just the facts. Thank you very much. Sheriff Golden?
Yeah. Thank you, Sheriff Mastronardi, and I want to thank Congressman Smith for your tireless effort. When your constituents have a problem in Monmouth and Ocean County, Congressman Smith is always...
Dr. Cataclysm in the building says they're strategic. They're probably flying under the floor of radar. As long as they are under the 100-foot floor, conventional ways of detecting them via radar won't be accurate. I agree with you, but they're not flying under the floor of radar. They're flying between 500 and 1,000 feet. There are times they're getting a little lower. I heard reports of them right over the tree line, whatever that means. But most people are observing them, and most law enforcement are observing them between 500 and 1,000 feet. That is a detectable range for radar. And somebody said in the chat, but I also know this from studying this thing, they're not getting any heat signatures on these planes. UAPs, drones, whatever you want to call them. How can you have any type of device that's up there without a heat signature, even if it's not propulsed by gas and oil, even if it's electric motors? Because we know that Predators are basically lawnmower motors. Really, it is. They literally took out two-stroke lawnmower motors and put them in our Predator drones. So some drones take gas, like Predators and Raptors. To keep the cost down, they use lawnmower motors, and they're very efficient, and that's why Predators and Raptors can stay up in the air for 24 hours. I think Raptors can stay up a little bit longer, 48 hours. Predators can stay up for 24 hours. Even if they're not propulsed by motors and they're propulsed by electric motors, by gas motors, but they're propulsed by electric motors, they still would create heat. You still would get heat. Yet when they're putting the heat guns on these things, when they're trying to observe them with thermal cameras, they're getting no heat signatures. Explain to me how that is possible with our current means of technology. Explain to me how these devices are using anti-gravity technology, because how else would they be able to defy gravity without producing a heat signature? Let's keep going.
He's there, and we have a problem, right? We have a number of reports that had occurred over a month ago in North Jersey, has worked its way down to Monmouth and Ocean County, continues night after night to be a problem and an issue for our residents. And as the Congressman said, our own military personnel from two different locations, Picatinny Arsenal and Naval Weapons Station Earl, as well as numerous first responders and public safety people, have identified these objects in the air. So for Washington to just shun off those type of issues and say it's all planes, right, is not good enough. And I know Congressman Smith is taking it to it. I want to thank, though, Colonel Callahan and the New Jersey State Police and our Office of Homeland Security Preparedness here in New Jersey, because they're doing all they can with the limited amount of technology and limited resources to monitor the situation, to provide real-time dashboards and data to all of the counties involved. And I think they're doing a fantastic job in doing so. But again, they're limited. Part of our conversations with Congressman Smith early on, as he knows, was we need to have our legislation keep pace with the laws and the operation of drones.
The problem with these aliens is when they come here, they're going to expect accommodations. We're going to have to put them in the Row Hotel. We're going to have to give them credit. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's just New York City with Eric Adams. I'm sorry. Let's keep going.
Has not, right? We know that the FAA and the federal government is solely in charge of the airways and of the drone operations as we see it today. We're calling upon Congress, and Congressman Smith is leading the way, to modify legislation so that not just 3 federal agencies are able to have drone detection and de-drone equipment, right? To be able to put that hands in the state policing units around the country. This is a national public safety and security issue, right? If they aren't foreign drones, then it is a state public safety issue.
You know how far behind the pale we would be if these are foreign drones? If these are foreign drones, we automatically are no longer the superpower of the world. If China or Iran or one of these other countries, Russia, have these type of drones with this level of technology, American dominance is over. Finito. I'm also thinking about another thing, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to go into politics, but I think it's important to talk about the politics a little bit so we can understand this next theory that I have on this whole drone situation. Don't worry, I'm not telling you how to vote. I'm not telling you anything. I'm just telling you a policy. So you have Trump coming in 2025, and he, Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, and other folks have been talking about the defense budget. Other budgets. Across the board, they're talking about budgets, but they're also talking about all the waste that we find in the defense budget. They spoke about how trillions of, I think it was like $1 trillion was missing from the defense budget. I mean, it'd be easy for me to say billions, but my mind's eye is telling me I remember them saying trillions. And they're talking about cutting a lot of this spending that we find in defense. Could it be that the Defense Department is putting forth these top secret drones to scare the bejesus out of us? Notice they're not saying UAPs or aliens. They keep putting that narrative out into the news that they're drones so that we don't get too scared that we say to ourselves, oh, these are terrestrial, these are man-made, but we just don't know where. We don't know if it's foreign or domestic. Could they be putting them out there to scare the bejesus out of us to say, whoa, 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 don't cut our budget because there's foreign adversaries out there with super weapons that fly unlike anything we've ever seen before, and we need to develop countermeasures to this. Could this be a psyop to justify additional spending in our defense and to say, hands off of the military-industrial complex because we need this spending because look what's out there. Russia, China, somebody has super drones that easily evaded American countermeasures and flew about America as they felt, took pictures, took selfies in the sky, and we got to develop something to counter it. Could that be it? I'm wondering, guys. That's why I have in that title, drone invasion or government psyop. The other theory I have is this could be a government psyop in order to increase spending in the military-industrial complex. I don't know. I'm just asking questions. Big shout out to Jackie Blue with a $10 super chat. She says, that's for the hat and the smarts. Thanks. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the channel. You guys are amazing. Maybe I could buy myself a coffee before they come. Let's keep going.
In order for the state to react, state policing units from around the country will need new technology to detect drones, recreational or commercial. They will need laws that assist them in being able to de-drone, right? That means if we have large-scale gatherings that don't involve our federal partners, we must be able to monitor any of those drone actions above those gatherings and take action, right? And the only way.
Big shout out to Mama Duck. She says, I've had a horrible day. I'm sorry to hear that, Mama Duck. I hope your day gets better. I walk in and you have a tin hat on. You made me laugh. The government knows what they are, 100%. They put them down all the time. And I got to agree with Mama Duck in saying, well, number one, I agree with her that they know who they are because I've been saying that this whole life. But when we think about advanced technology, we think as though this technology somehow would make whoever possesses it godlike. Maybe when you look at this technology and its glory, you might be in awe and you might feel like it's almost magical or mystical. But this technology does not necessarily make it immune from our technology. Because if you're an alien race, but you've never encountered a bullet, then how would you know to make a countermeasure against a bullet? So sci-fi tells us that they'll have some type of energy force field that could protect them from bullets, right? Or some type of material on their bodies, a spacesuit, an exoskeleton that would protect them from a bullet. But if you've never experienced a bullet before, how would you know to engineer something to withstand a bullet? If you've never had to run from a heat-seeking American missile fired from an F-18 fighter plane, how would you know to develop a countermeasure against that type of technology, even though that technology is probably primitive compared to your technology? You never encountered it before. So how would you know to make a countermeasure for it? So I wholly believe that our technology can hurt these beings. I wholly believe it because I doubt that they took the time to create countermeasures to our technology. So I wholly believe that we've shot down their UFOs before. I wholly believe that, of course, we've got their technology, that we've got their bodies, etc. The government knows who they are, or rather, what they are. The question is, why won't they tell us, or why aren't they ready to tell us just yet? Big shout out to Dr. Cataclysm, a $5 super chat says, our jet fighters and stealth bombers have heat, infrared, diminishing tech. F-35 jets can hide their turbine due to the design. The drones are smaller. It's possible. It's possible these drones are fitted with heat dissipating technology. Absolutely, it's possible. But like I said, I wholly believe that these drones are American drones. These are our technology. What I don't believe is that this is earthly. I believe those heat-seeking, dodging, unearthly moving 6 to 10 foot refrigerator type drones are American drones that probably are implementing advanced technology. I believe that they are out there in those New Jersey skies because this is out there too. This is out there too. And that's why we've deployed our top secret drones to monitor this.
Sandra, when things like this are happening, it seems everyone starts to look up, like my crew and I have been here in Mendham recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might be able to sort out what they're seeing in the skies. But I guarantee there are so many people looking up and making those recordings because this mystery is one that needs to be solved. For now.
Yo. Yeah. All right. Let me finish this video. And I got another video for you guys. Oh, it's a lot to go with this one. We're not going to listen to all of this. Let me set up the next video.
The way to do that is to change the federal laws that we see today to keep up with the technology and to make sure that those laws keep up with the pace of growth and deployments. We have drone delivery systems going commercially. We see Amazon and Walmart, all of our corporations, right, expanding for drone technology. But what we don't see are the laws and rules and regulations to keep up with that.
All right, they want regulation. We might be literally experiencing contact with the third kind, and this dude wants regulation. He want to regulate the aliens. Hey, aliens, you can't fly after 7 o'clock because people are trying to get some sleep. So please fly during the daytime, aliens. We got regulations over here. Come on, man. Jesus.
Larry Hogan shot this video last night. These lights over his hometown in Davidsonville, just 25 miles from the nation.
Oh, yeah, I like that. We're going to put some tariffs on them aliens. We're going to put some you want to fly on American soil? We're going to tariff your ass. There we go. Let's keep going.
Capital, as he pointed out. And then there's this.
I've never seen that. Wow, they just passed each other. Yeah, I've never seen that before.
New Jersey Senator Andy Kim shared this video of drones he shot yesterday. Federal authorities insist most of these sightings are actually legally manned aircraft. But Senator Kim says he checked a flight tracker app while capturing this video and that the devices he was capturing were not on it. The sightings are happening near LaGuardia Airport, too. Officials say they received unconfirmed reports of drone activity over that busy airport. As for numbers, the FBI says it's received more than 3,000 tips from the public about drone sightings going back to November 18th, all over New Jersey. Since then, there's been an average of 92 sightings per night and expanding across half a dozen states. In a joint statement, the FBI and Department of Homeland Security said, quote, "We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or public safety threat, or that they have a foreign nexus."
Right. So wouldn't you expect the FBI to say, we have no evidence at this time that a reported drone sightings pose a national security, public safety threat or nexus from foreign or have a foreign nexus. We have evaluated all of the information and conducted an investigation, and we determined that these are actually commercial drones. These are airplanes. These are helicopters. These are weather balloons. They are not mystery drones. Isn't that the answer we're looking for? No. They're saying, yeah, those drones are up there, but they're not a threat. That's what the FBI just said. The FBI just said the drones are up there. They acknowledge the existence of those drones. They are up there, but they're not a threat, and they're not from China and Russia. That's basically, in a nutshell, what the FBI said. So, yeah, they're up there. What are they? Where do they come from? And why are they up there? Thank you for letting us know that they're not planning on zapping us just yet. But we would also like to know, what are they? What type of drone are they? Because we've never seen them before. Where did they come from? Where are they taking off from? Where are they refueling? Who is controlling them? And why are they up there? Because whoever's flying them knows that we are upset that they're up there, that we're trying to have answers as to why they're up there, and they're also flying in restricted areas. So why are they up there? Why is this person, if it's a person, defying federal law and alarming the public? Those are the questions that we really need answered, FBI, not the answer you just gave us. Big shout out again to Dr. Cataclysm with another $5 super chat. Says they're not foreign and they're not dangerous. Also, we don't know anything about them. Exactly. Let's keep going.
Lawmakers, however, aren't buying it and are pushing for answers and action. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and 2 other senators wrote a letter calling for a briefing with the FBI and Homeland Security. While in Connecticut, Senator Richard Blumenthal says the devices should be shot down if they can't be identified. And we've learned that House Speaker Mike Johnson did get a federal briefing on the sightings, as has Senate staff.
Before she says whatever his briefing was, if she says it, I don't know. I didn't watch this before. I'm reacting to this with you. Please hit that like button, guys. I got a tinfoil hat on my head because I'm scared. The least you could do is hit the like button, okay? Things is about to get crazy. I'm telling you, this is the year, or rather the next year is the year of the reveal. I'm not making a prediction. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm telling you, I have a feeling that the reveal will happen because it looks like they're at that apex, that crescendo where it's like, now is the time. They're going to tell us definitively that aliens are real. I believe that Donald Trump will be the president to reveal to us, not saying him, that it's going to be him, that he's the one who's going to, no, it's the government, the shadow government that's out there says this is the time. And it's going to be during his presidency that it's going to be revealed that there are aliens out there. I'm telling you, I got the feeling. When I get the feeling, things usually come true. Am I looking forward to it? No, I don't. You know, the world's going to turn upside down, okay? Some people are going to go through existential, like, little awakenings, threats, whatever. People are just going to lose their mind to not believe that we're the only ones out here. I don't know if I really want to deal with all that drama. You know, there's going to be a lot of people going to do some real funky stuff when they find that stuff out. All I'm saying is I feel like this is the year. I don't know how I came on this conversation asking you to hit the like button. The bottom line is hit the damn like button. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Let's keep going.
Staffers in a few select offices. But other than that, there's been very little transparency. So what's going on? Is this some contagious mass hysteria? Or are people really seeing something that our government cannot identify? Our own Rich McHugh went out drone hunting in New Jersey. He did not come back empty-handed. Rich, tell us what you saw.
Hi, Elizabeth. Well, I got to be honest here. You know, when this story first came out a few weeks ago, as a resident of New Jersey, as a journalist, I didn't pay it much credence. I thought it would turn out to be a bunch of pranksters and this would all be over by now. The experience I had last night, however, changed the way I feel about this story completely. What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined. Take a look.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 lights, 6 lights.
I didn't believe what I was seeing. Oh, what was I seeing? We're here in central Jersey. We've been looking for the past hour. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there.
No.
One after another, these drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely. You see this? This is live, not live, but this is a politician here, news guy. I want to go back. I'm so confused. Let's do this all over again. I'm sorry. He's not a politician. He's a newsman. I'm sorry. I got to control a whole show by myself. That just blew over my head. We got to go back and do this again. All right. Not all the way back. I'm sorry. That blew my mind. Let's
identify. Our own Rich McHugh went out drone hunting in New Jersey. Okay. He did not come back empty-handed.
Rich McHugh went out there. He's a correspondent. Let's see what Rich McHugh saw.
Rich, tell us what you saw.
Hi, Elizabeth. Well, I got to be honest here. You know, when this story first came out a few weeks ago, as a resident of New Jersey, as a journalist, I didn't pay it much credence. I thought it would turn out to be a bunch of pranksters and this would all be over by now. The experience I had last night, however, changed the way I feel about this story completely. What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined. Take a look.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 lights, 6 lights.
I didn't believe what I was seeing. But what was I seeing? We're here in Central Jersey.
They know that that's not a commercial flight, guys. That's not a commercial flight. Like commercial flights have to be scheduled. They also have transponders. You could track commercial flights. What is that thing? Who has 6 to 10 foot drones in their backyard? DJI doesn't make drones that big. What is that thing?
Been looking for the past hour. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there. One after another, these drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it? Hours earlier, I was invited to...
It's American. The question is, why is it up there? It is... Aliens are not going to make stuff that look human. They're not from this earth. They don't have our mind, our sensibility. They probably don't even have our same gravity. They would never design something, unless, of course, they're hanging out here. They actually share this earth with us and they stay in the oceans. Maybe it makes sense to make a wing because you're taking advantage of the air on this planet. I don't know. The bottom line is, I don't think aliens would make something like that. That is American. It has flashing strobe lights. It's American. Why is it up there? It's a question.
Join the Ocean County Sheriff Department. They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks. The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones.
Why do you think that is? We don't know. It's just something that we haven't, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
They don't give off heat. Why don't they give off heat? Are they sporting some advanced technology, such as what we use on the stealth planes and all that good stuff? Heat dispersion, which is what Dr. Cataclysm said. Somebody asked, why New Jersey? I don't think that the government chose New Jersey to fly these drones. I think, once again, because y'all not paying attention, whoever asked that question, you not paying attention, you need to get yourself a tinfoil hat just like me. Maybe they're there not because the government chose New Jersey, maybe because this thing chose New Jersey.
My crew and I have been here in Mendham recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to.
That thing, though, chose New Jersey. That's why those drones that look like they were designed by man is in New Jersey. Those drones are in New Jersey. Those top secret drones are in New Jersey because this thing chose New Jersey. Let's go back to this reporter who just said that the New Jersey Sheriff's Department that's putting these drones up says that those other drones don't have heat signatures. Let's keep going.
Something they hadn't experienced until now. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat, and then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about.
Somebody said, why did these things choose us? Why not? Why did we choose to go into Africa, into the rainforest, and study the bonobos, the monkeys, study the great apes? We are the nature preserve. I wouldn't be surprised if Earth was a nature preserve. I wouldn't be surprised half those UAPs are families on vacation, observing the man. If they're scientists, why not? We're a life form that they can study, they can observe, they can be interested in. Why not? Why not? What would we do if we could traverse the stars? If you could take man right now with our mind and our sensibilities, and you gave us faster than light travel and a ship that can carry us from point A to point B safely, what would we do if we get in that ship right now? Elon Musk's ship, Starship 12. And we now go to Proxima Centauri, and there happened to be a planet there that has sentient life. And they're running around their planet, living their life, building their structures, and they're more primitive than we are. With man's sensibility right now, what would we do? Would we not go and study them? Would we not take pictures of them? Would we not study them? Would we not try and abduct one of them to kind of figure out how they function? Would we not do that? Don't we do that to great apes? Don't we do that to monkeys? Don't we do that to snakes? Don't we do that to cows? Don't we do that to ants, to butterflies? Do we not abduct them from their natural environment and perform experiments on them to figure out how they function? Don't we do that to our lesser beings? So if we become the lesser beings to starfaring civilizations, wouldn't it be rational to think that they would do the same thing to us that we do to our lesser beings on this planet? Why not? That's the answer to your question. Big shout out to Light Chaser with a $10 super chat, says, I'm making a full hat now too because my mind is about to explode. Thanks for spending your vacation with us. Really enjoying. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I appreciate you. Let's keep going.
8 feet.
Can I see one right here? Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before. Wow. In more than a month since these reports started, the federal government doesn't know what they are either. What's your message to the White House?
My message: come to the Jersey Shore. I know it's wintertime, but come see what we see, and then, maybe have a better appreciation for why our residents are concerned.
The Ocean County Sheriff, that drone unit, they have an industrial grade drone. They put it up. They were tracking one of these drones, Elizabeth, and they said this thing easily evaded them, disappeared out of thin air.
Wow.
So, to me, it's, if this is not...
So who are you going to believe now? You hearing it from law enforcement's mouth. We're asking for law enforcement to do something. We're asking for local law enforcement to do something. We're asking for the feds to do something. We're asking for our government officials to do something. This reporter just reported that a local government official, a sheriff's department, put up commercial industrial strength drones in the air. That's top of the line DJI drones. We all know DJI has the market in a tizzy because they make excellent drones. Those were clearly DJI drones. They sent up industrial DJI drones to track one of these drones, and he just said that drone easily evaded, the UAP drone easily invaded the sheriff's department drone and then disappeared. That's the words that he used. Disappeared. Listen to it again.
The Ocean County Sheriff, that drone unit, they have an industrial grade drone. They put it up. They were tracking one of these drones, Elizabeth, and they said this thing easily evaded them, disappeared out of thin air. So, to me, it's, if this is not our military, then it's even more scary, and we need the answers, frankly.
All right.
We need some answers, man. Let me bring it back to me. I got two more for you. Two more for you, and we'll call it a day. Let me bring it back to me. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
Keep up with the...
I don't know, man. All right. Give me 1 second. Let me cue something up. Here, let me play this while I cue it up.
That's why in my letter transmitted to Congressman Smith, it had several points. One of those points in there commercial or retail regulation all have to show up on some type of map so that our first responders know that they're there. It can't be voluntary. It can't be an app that a private organization in Airware has made up. It's very useful, it's good, but it's not coming off the FAA radar. So the FAA has to step up. They have to integrate that technology for drone detection into the FAA maps that we see today.
Bam. All right, I want to play for something for you. I don't know if this guy is going to get funky on me. If he is, I'm going to have to cut this out of the show. But big shout out to, I don't know who this is. I just Googled it.
Should consider putting it into.
We'll see if he even has a good explanation, but this guy's name is Mark Dice. He's got a massive platform. Bring this over here. 1.91 million subscribers. It looks like he's going to explain what Project Bluebeam is, which is what a lot of people have been putting in the chat. So I want to put that out there before we call it a day. I at least want to get you another perspective. So once again, the original video is going to be on Mark Dice's site. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I put the link inside of the description for Mark Dice. And we're going to listen to his 4-minute and 39-second explanation of Project Bluebeam. Let's keep going.
Did you know that the government has a plan to stage or fake an alien invasion or even the return of Jesus or the appearance of God here on planet Earth? Not only do they have the plan, but they've actually considered putting it into use on several occasions. The Washington Post actually published an article years ago about how the military had considered staging the appearance of God in Iraq during the first Gulf War in order to trick the Iraqis into believing that God had appeared and that he was talking to them, urging them to overthrow Saddam Hussein. They also considered doing the same tactic to overthrow Fidel Castro in Cuba. It's called Project Bluebeam, and through using several holographic devices and the microwave hearing effect, or the radio frequency hearing effect, they were going to beam God's voice into people's heads and make them believe that they were seeing and hearing God himself, who would then urge them to overthrow the dictator. Sound too crazy to be true? There is a patent registered in the United States Patent Office by the United States military for a piece of technology that can beam voices into people's heads. It's called the radio frequency hearing effect. And essentially, the voices or the sounds, the music, whatever they project, would be modulated in your inner ear so people couldn't tell where it was coming from. We have two ears, we have stereophonic hearing, so most people can tell what direction a sound is coming from, but not using the radio frequency hearing effect. So in conjunction with some sort of holographic devices, they were going to use this radio frequency hearing effect to trick the people of Iraq or the people of Cuba. And there's also a plan in the works to use this same technology to stage an alien invasion in order to trick the world's population into following in line with the government's agenda. While giving a speech at the United Nations in the 1980s, President Ronald Reagan suggested that we needed an alien invasion in order to bring in world peace.
World peace, ladies and gentlemen. New world order. Now, I've heard on higher authority, tinfoil blocks those inner ear signals. Get yourself a hat. Let's keep going.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?
More recently, Paul Krugman of the New York Times has suggested that the government stage an alien attack or an alien invasion in order to spark military spending in the military-industrial complex.
Ooh, I didn't even know about Project Bluebeam. And didn't I just say that? Didn't I just say maybe this is a psyop? Maybe it's a psyop so that they could spark more military spending? Didn't I say that? I just said that. I don't know nothing about Project Bluebeam, yet I just said maybe they are showcasing Look how brazen they're doing it. They got FAA approved blinkers on these drones that are defying gravity. Red, green, white, blinking lights. You think the aliens are going to say, oh, before we go into the humans' airspace, let's make sure we check that FAA guidelines and we outfit our planes, our UAPs, with the appropriate lights. Let's go to Home Depot and go get ourselves some LED lights to put on our plane. These are human terrestrial planes. I already showed you the alien plane. Look much different than those jets that are flying around that the news was just covering. They're out there violating the law, flying around New Jersey, scaring the crap out of people with red, green, and white lights, following FAA guidelines. When they can easily just turn them off, and then people be like, what the hell is those things flying around? But instead, they got those lights blinking like whoever's in them UAPs is playing Jay-Z or Beyonce or whatever you like. Cardi B, I don't know. I don't listen to rap. Unless they want them to be seen, unless they want to stir people up, unless they want to make a scene, unless they want a conversation, they want the news covering it. And what did I say? To scare the bejesus out of you, to increase government spending on the military-industrial complex. Let's keep going.
To pull us out of the recession and to jumpstart the economy.
If we discovered that space aliens were planning to attack, and we needed a massive buildup to counter the space alien threat, and really inflation and budget deficits took secondary place to that, this slump would be over in 18 months. And then if we discovered, whoops, we made a mistake, there aren't actually any space aliens.
So we need Orson Welles, is what you're saying.
No, there was a Twilight Zone episode like this in which scientists fake an alien threat in order to achieve world peace. Well, this time we don't need it. We need it in order to get some fiscal stimulus. I actually have a serious proposal, which is that we have to get a bunch of scientists to tell us that we're facing a threatened alien invasion. And in order to be prepared for that alien invasion, we have to do things like build high-speed rail and then once we've recovered, you can say, look, there were no aliens. But look, I mean, whatever it takes.
Back in the 1970s, there was a book
There's always like a naysayer, right? Like, this guy's got an idea. He's got a theory. Obviously, he doesn't know. He's just giving you his opinion. And there's always some guy who's going to, like, try and make you look like you're dumb for having a theory. Like, since when do we lambaste people for having theories? Theories is what actually turns into discoveries. Always that guy. So he just played the guy, that guy. And now look at it. What are these things in New Jersey, asshole? Can you explain that to us? What is these things flying around New Jersey? But he doesn't have an answer. Come on, man. Let's keep going.
It was titled "The Report from Iron Mountain," which was supposedly or said to have been a.
It's like when I covered the shooter. When I covered the healthcare shooter CEO dude Luigi Mangione. I just did a quick Google search and I'm like, yo, this guy's a multi-millionaire family. This dude is loaded. Of course, we had to know, strategic. You're reaching. How do you know that he's loaded? Because I use the Google. There's always a naysayer. They don't do no research. They don't take the time to make sure that they're right before they talk out of that third hole, which is their booty, and they say something that's totally nonsensical. Just use Google, just like this guy. This was a plausible theory, he said, about faking an alien invasion in order to jumpstart the economy. And here comes the naysayer making fun of him without no evidence that he might be wrong. We literally need to chase people like this out of our society, because these people are the ones that hold us back. The ones who constantly attack people who are willing to think outside of the box. They are the enemy. They are conformist. Let's keep going.
Classified government document about how the military needed to continue an endless war in order to keep the economy functioning. Many people believe that this document was a hoax. The authors came out and...
Haven't we not been in endless war already, even without the aliens, though? We've been in endless war already. Even when we weren't physically fighting wars, we've been in proxy wars. Has there ever been a time in my life, well, my lifetime, yes, but in the last 25 years that we have not either been a part of a war or engaged in a proxy war where we're spending money like we're actually in war, but we're giving that money to somebody else to fight the war for us? Has there ever been a time in 25 years that has not been the case? Ask yourself that question, and then ask yourself a follow-up question. Why? Why? Is it not partly for the economy? Because isn't war good for the economy? It certainly is. Let's keep going.
Said that it was a satire years later after it had spurred all kinds of controversy and become a bestseller. And in that book, it also suggested that the government stage an alien invasion in order to jumpstart spending for the military-industrial complex.
Big shout out to this guy, Mark Dice, man. Appreciate it. He didn't give me permission to use this video, but I hope that he won't, copyright me or anything. This video is actually pretty old. 11 years old. He's got a massive channel. So Mark Dice, please don't come for small old strategic. Don't come for me, Mark. All right, let's bring it back to me, man. Listen, I don't want to beat a dead horse, okay? We've been doing this for an hour and 30 minutes, and it's late as hell, and you folks need to sleep, and so do I. I think you got the point. There are things in that sky that I think we know darn well what it is. We built it. But I think we've also built those things with technology that we've gotten from them. And I also believe, in my opinion, that they're up there too. And my main theory is that we are up there because they are up there. That is my main theory. We are up there. Those are clearly man-made planes. We are up there because they are up there. But my secondary theory is that this might be, now that I heard Project Bluebeam, it meshes with my theory a little bit. So I'm just going to say this might be some derivative of a Project Bluebeam. They're either up there because they are up there, because I can't explain what the heck this is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. For those of you who just joined in the stream, listen to this.
Bill and Sandra, when things like this are happening, it seems everyone starts to look up, like my crew and I have been here in Mendham recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might be able to sort it.
Bro, why is that moving like that? That thing looked like those 1970s, little globes with the electricity and Faraday things. That's what it looked like. That's ABC News, ladies and gentlemen. That is ABC News that is recording that at that time with their channel-issued video camera. That $20,000 camera that they lug around. You guys know that those cameras are $20,000? Those are super expensive cameras. That is ABC News out there to report on these flying saucers, and then they noticed this crazy crap in the sky and it started recording it. Play it for you one more time, because we're about to get up out of here, and I need you to get that
Sandra,
food for thought.
When things like this are happening, it seems everyone starts to look up, like my crew and I have been here in Mendham recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might be able to sort out what they're seeing in the skies. But I guarantee there's so many people looking up and making those recordings, because this mystery is one that needs to be.
This lady's looking at this with her own eyes, and she's like, what the heck is that? The cameraman is looking at it with his own eyes, and he's like, what the heck is that? Like, we could say, oh, maybe it's a distortion with the camera, the light is hitting the camera or something. No, they looked at it with their own eyes and said, what the heck is that? And then, well, let's point our camera at that thing that we're looking at with our own eyes, and we're saying, what the heck is that? So 2 sets of human eyes looked at that and said, what the heck is that? And then they pointed a camera at it for the rest of us to look at it and say, what the heck is that? Ladies and gentlemen, what the heck is that? Those drones that we clearly see are man-made are up there because this thing is up there too. Big shout out to Ellie Fant with a $2 super chat, says drones reported over the U.S. Capitol now. They are here. You don't fly over the Capitol without permission. They are here. They're here. Let me see if I can find that before I get out of here. I was getting ready to get out of here, but I need to see about these U.S. Capitol drones before I get out of here, and then we'll call it a day. And then you guys sleep tight. Make sure you lock them doors up. Not that it matters, because they could just unlock it with their minds probably, but let's keep going. Drones. Oh boy. Let's see here. Let me try a different one. I'm not seeing it on YouTube. Doesn't mean it exists. Nobody made a video on it yet. Washington, D.C. Let me try that instead of U.S. Capitol. Drone, yep, strange drone spotted over Maryland and Virginia. That's the capital region. Drones expert explains why shooting down unknown drones is out of the question. Look, some numbskulls say, oh, don't shoot them down because there are people there and it might hurt people. Man, I don't give a damn. I'm not going to lie to you. At this point, shoot them things down. Tell everybody to stay in their houses. Shoot them down so we can see what they look like. Let's see here.
Developing tonight, the latest on the drone mystery over our area. Local leaders and people demanding explanations on the sightings.
Our Shamari Stone spoke with a drone expert tonight.
This is D.C.
Tonight, we still don't know where the drones are coming from, but an expert who has flown drones since 2012 says that she believes that the federal government knows much more than they're telling the public. The drone sightings continue to rise on the East Coast, including here in Maryland and Virginia. They were first spotted over New Jersey.
Ooh, them boys is over the Capitol right now. Big shout out to Foxy Amazon, $2 super chat. She says, talking out your third hole? Well, what's the second hole? Well, that's the fun one, but let's keep going. It's a different conversation.
Jersey, where one lawmaker briefed on the issue by the Department of Homeland Security says the reported drones have been up to 6 feet in length. Fox 5 has received videos of what viewers believe are drones the size of cars flying over Maryland. And today in Virginia, the Stafford County Sheriff Office reported new...
Whoa. You see how that thing is beeping? Hold on, let me get can I get these subs off? Look how that thing is beeping like it's a sphere. Like it's bounced, the light is bouncing off a sphere. Look at this. Look at this again. Watch this. Look at that. Like, I don't know if that's a distortion with the lens, but that thing looks very, 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 very alien. Let's bring that back again.
Drones the size of cars flying over Maryland. And today in Virginia.
Look how the light is reflecting off that thing. It's just like it's an orb or some type of force field around it.
Stafford County Sheriff Office reported new drone sightings. We're now going to hear from Louisa Winters, who has flown drones for over a decade at her company, Mid-Atlantic Drones. She is also a private pilot based out of Odenton, Maryland, and an FAA-certified advanced ground school instructor for aviation.
Have you ever seen anything like this in your years of flying drones?
I have never seen anything like this, so I'm as astounded as everybody else.
You believe that the federal government knows about these drones. What do you mean by that?
Well, I absolutely do believe that the technology to detect drone exists. That I know for a fact, and so do many other people. So they know that those drones are being flown. So I don't know who's flying them, and I don't know if they know who's flying them.
The White House saying there is no evidence that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat.
Drones cannot fly in no-fly zones. That's a negative. Nothing can fly in a no-fly zone. We barely let the birds fly in the no-fly zones, but let's keep going.
We have not been able to, and neither have state or local law enforcement authorities, corroborate any of the reported visual sightings.
The White House is also saying that the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are investigating these drone sightings. Meanwhile, the Stafford County Sheriff's wants you to call the FBI if you see them. I'm Shimon.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, man. Let's bring it back to me, guys. Okay, I'm tired. I'm tired. I've been battling these forces all night. My tinfoil hat is almost worn out. The energies within it are almost worn out. It's time for us to call it a day. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope I gave you guys some useful information. Hopefully we've made some sense out of this craziness tonight. Appreciate you guys. But I think it's time for me to call it a day. You know what they say? If you can't beat them, join them. You may come get me now. Take me to my masters, my alien master. Let me stop. I'm being stupid. Anyway, guys, we had a good stream today. I really appreciate you. I put the tinfoil hat on. I was joking around. I was laughing, but I'm dead serious. Everything I said about what I believe is happening, I believe it. I do not believe that we are alone, ladies and gentlemen. I do believe that we've been visited by extraterrestrials probably long before we even became human beings. They probably were coming around here when we was just dinosaurs running around. I don't know. I don't have those answers, but I do believe that we're not alone in this world, in this universe, whatever. It'd just be really whack and boring if the only place in this vast universe to develop life is here on Earth. That's insane, right? That's how I look at it, all right? I do believe that the government is slowly exposing us to extraterrestrials, more to extraterrestrial phenomena, more so now than ever in human history. All of this stuff is to make a major reveal. I believe so. The Pentagon whistleblower, you know, these drones that we have made that are operating outside of the norm of any other drone that's out there in the market that we've even seen in the theater of war. These things are operating better than we've seen these Predators and Raptors and these other drones that are out there. All of this is to soften the blow, to ease us into understanding that we're not alone. So, yes, I had the tinfoil hat on. Yes, I cracked jokes with you guys. Yes, I was lighthearted. But I was dead serious. I was dead serious, and I believe these things to be true. And you know what? If they're not true, great. Great. It's like my theories on other things, like my theory with Maddie possibly being pregnant. If she's not pregnant, great. That is excellent news. It's nothing I'd feel bad about if I turned out to be wrong. Same thing with these aliens. If I'm wrong and there's no extraterrestrials, they're not here, great. We don't have to deal with the hysteria, the mass hysteria, and the madness that will happen if they are revealed, okay? We're good to go. Sounds good. But it looks to me like they're real, and the government is slowly walking us to that truth. Because if you just drop a bomb on the population right then and there and say, hey, we got aliens, and not only are there aliens, but we know them, we've been in contact with them, and yes, some of them are good, like the whistleblower told us, some of them are good, but some of them are also bad. Think about how that is literally going to explode the world, that last part. People are willing to accept that some of them are good. That's cool. Okay, they're good. They're scientists, they're explorers. No problem. They mean us no harm. But what about the part where some of them are bad? The whistleblower told us that. He said some of them are good and some of them are bad. That's going to blow people's minds and make them afraid. And the government has to slowly walk us to that truth. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are slowly being walked to the inevitable that we are not alone. I want to thank everybody who joined me on this stream. Big shout out to Kaleidoscope Dreams with a $4.99 super chat. Says, hello, Mr. Strategic. I hope you're well, and I'm glad to catch the stream. I think UFOs are real. Thank you. I do too. I want to thank everybody who's joined me on this stream. I want to thank everybody who's given me a super chat to help this channel out. Really do appreciate it. You guys are very generous. I want to thank everybody who maintained an open mind as we talked about this very interesting and some may think out there topic. Slight departure from what we usually talk about on this true crime channel, but I really appreciate the maturity of the chat to be able to have this conversation with you guys. And lastly, I want to thank everybody who's been out there looking at these things and uploading that stuff to Twitter and Instagram and also giving it to the news. And I also want to thank some of these local politicians that may not be in the loop, who are out there speaking out against the fact that the government is not giving us the information that we deserve. And lastly, I want to thank my audience for being amazing. I may have said it already, but I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say, I want to bid you guys a great night. Make sure that you become a member of the channel. Make sure you also join the Patreon. I'll see you guys on the next one. Make sure you hit that like button. Hit that like button, please, before we get out of here. Strategic is out of here. Peace. You thought that the show was over. I'm commanding you to hit the like button and subscribe. Follow me.